So we're going to talk about the lesson plan here, and it is going to be on the FranConnect integrations that we have and things that allow us to automate your guys' life. So we'll take a little bit about, it's about a 60-minute lesson plan with 15 minutes built in of Q&A. We're going to do a quick introduction as to where we can find all of these different integrations on your guys' sites. We'll then take about 10 minutes to talk about the Gmail integration. We'll then move into the Outlook integrations because there are actually a total of 3 Gmail integration tools. One is in beta right now, and it looks very similar to the Gmail integration. And the other 2 are the legacy items that we've been using for quite some time. We'll then jump into the different mobile applications. There's 3 that we're going to talk about today: the Sky, the FranConnect CRM, and then the Field Apps mobile applications, and allow you to, we'll spend most of our time in FranConnect Sky, to be honest, and show you guys what you can do at Sky, but also show you how you can download and what features are available for the other 2 applications as well. And then we'll talk about, for a very short period of time, the FIQ Messenger application, desktop application that you can use. Only about 5 minutes of that time will be spent for that. So, and then that should leave us about 15 minutes for Q&A near the tail end. Okay. So again, if any of you guys are not self-muting, I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't mind self-muting so we don't get too much feedback. I was hearing a little bit of feedback from somebody's line. If you wouldn't mind self-muting, and then when you have a question, you're more than welcome to unmute yourself and ask that question as we go along through the training. Okay. All right, so that's our lesson today. Any questions before we jump right into our activities for the day? Okay, not hearing or seeing anything there. So I'm going to pull up a tab here, and we are going to be in a special Gingerbread training environment that we have. So this should look very similar to your environment, but of course color schemes will be off. The amount of modules that I have on my environment will be off compared to your environment. But the generic stuff that we're going to be talking about as far as the integrations are going to look the exact same, just have different logos and such on them. So I'm going to go ahead and log into my generic domain here, called Gingerbread Training for us. And of course, what we're going to be focusing on is going into your user options here and under your downloads, your download apps. Okay, and you have 3 different categories on your site. Again, that was go to your user options underneath your name, and then download apps, which is available here. Now, the first section is the mobile apps that are going to be available to you. Now, if you have not purchased CRM or Field Apps, obviously these will not show on your particular domain. But if you have the full suite of products like this particular domain does, you'll have FranConnect Sky, which is the main application we're going to be talking quite a bit about, FranConnect CRM, and FranConnect Field Apps. You'll notice, of course, that each one of them has a little description as to what's going on in those particular domains or those particular applications, as well as a company code that is extremely important to make sure you note. Because the first time that you log in, you will be asked for a company code, and sometimes when your mobile device loses the company code, you may be asked for it again. So if you're ever struggling to find the company code, realize that they can be found under the mobile apps where it says company code in bold letters. So the 3 mobile applications we offer are FranConnect Sky, FranConnect CRM, and FranConnect Field Apps. The email integrations that we're going to be talking about today are found under the second tab here, which is email integrations. The FranConnect Sky for Microsoft Outlook is in beta, so of course we're still kind of working through it and testing some of the bugs out, and actually we're having some of you guys test that out for us, as you've seen some blasts come out saying, hey, download it, see what you think about it, so on and so forth. It is very similar to the Gmail integration, which is why we're going to be covering the Gmail integration first and then jumping over to the Microsoft Outlook beta. But notice the downloadable functionality is located here. Again, very important to note the company code. Here, FranConnect Sky for Gmail, again, very similar to the Outlook one, is the first thing we're going to be covering today, and can be available as a Chrome extension from the Chrome Web Store. The Outlook email uploader is similar to the FranConnect Sky for Microsoft Outlook in that the functionality exists just in a little bit less of a slick format. This is the legacy of the FranConnect Sky for Microsoft Outlook. So we'll show you this particular item as well because this one has been around, and all of the bugs that we've come across have been worked out of this particular product. In the miscellaneous section, we won't cover the mail merge, but we will talk about the Outlook calendar integration, which allows for your Outlook calendar to be integrated with FranConnect and your FranConnect calendar to be integrated with Outlook based on settings that you decide to select. And even though the hub is located in our FranConnect Sky, we will show you the FIQ Messenger application that allows you to make sure all of you're updated on your desktop of news, documents, alerts, messages, FranBuzz updates, stories, new and unassigned tickets, really whatever you want to see out of the hub. Those are the different integrations that we will talk about today. Any questions about those three tabs and/or what integrations we'll discuss? Okay, not seeing anything from you guys. So we're going to jump into the first integration, which is going to be the FranConnect Sky for Gmail. In order to download the Chrome web application and make sure that it is available for your Gmail integration here, you'll need to go to the Chrome Web Store. Notice that as I hover over this, I get the finger. That means there's a link behind that. That takes you right into the downloadable format of the FranConnect Sky for Gmail. Notice that I've already downloaded this, so it's already said added to Chrome for me. But it tells you a little bit about it, gives you reviews, talks about the support, and any other related Chrome extensions that you might want to use. In order to access it, you simply go into your Gmail. And maybe I'm going to have to sign in. We'll see. Yep, I'll have to sign into my account real quick. Oops. Oops. And of course, when you access your Gmail account, your normal screen, of course, shows this particular section here, but when you download the FranConnect Sky Gmail integration, off to the right, you're going to see this particular panel. Again, we talked about the necessity to make sure that you remember your login ID, password, and extremely important to keep that company code available to yourself there. If you need instructions on how to access your company code or logging in, you can go to the Help Center from the instructions there. We have a whole entire section on configuring your company code, as well as the Gmail integration in general. Lots of information about how to use the Gmail integration within our Help Center. Just as a quick tutorial, we'll go ahead and log in. And notice here, we have our basic login screen. From here, we can do a quick search for any of the contacts that we have in our system, whether they be on CRM, sales, or in Info Manager. And any of them that start to come up with my particular selection here will populate. Like Aaron Patterson, which is a sales lead, and Isaac Meyer. And if we go back to our particular domain, we take a look at sales. We go into our lead management. We do a quick search. Notice Aaron Patterson and Isaac Meyer come up the exact same way that they do here. If we wanted to access their information, we could simply access all of what we needed to here and edit that particular person's information. So you have full access to any of the leads, franchisees, or if you have CRM, any of your leads and contacts that you have stored in your CRM. So that's kind of nice to be able to access all of your particular contacts and have their information. But the real strength of the Gmail integration is to be able to take anything that you receive or send or out of the system and upload it to make sure it's being recorded in FranConnect. The way that that works is you simply highlight or open a particular email. Automatically, it's going to look for this particular person's email address and do a search for you. If it finds that this particular person's already in FranConnect, it's going to link it up with that particular contact, whether it be a lead, a franchisee, or a CRM contact / lead. If it's not there, notice it'll say no results found with the option to add the email to FranConnect. And when we do so, it's going to say, okay, you want to add these particular contacts to associate with this email because there is no contact from here. So right from here, we can add Aaron Hale as a particular contact and upload the email and include the attachment if we so choose. If a particular person is actually in our system, then they will be located here, and the Add Email to FranConnect will automatically upload when you click on Add Email to FranConnect. You can do this from your inbox, from your sent mail, or for any of the boxes that you have, any of your inbox, starred, important, any of the boxes that you have in your email. Notice that you also have the option to save all of your outbound emails to FranConnect as well by checking the box here in your settings. From your settings, you can access the Help Center, which tells you all about Gmail integration and various topics that you could read on. If you don't want to be using the FranConnect Sky, you can obviously lock out of the FranConnect Sky integration, and then, of course, the functionality no longer exists. Any questions on the Gmail integration, on how to get it on our computers or how to use it with our Gmail? Okay, next we're going to talk about our, oh, wait a second. Kelly says nope. Okay, thanks, Kelly. Anybody else have questions? I'm not hearing or seeing anything, so I'm going to move on. And we're going to move into our Outlook integrations. And to start with our Outlook integrations, what we're going to do is we're going to focus on the older integrations that we have available to us first. Okay, those are the legacy items. Those are the ones that we've worked out all the bugs that we can possibly find. The way that we're going to access those legacy ones are to go to our options, go to our download apps again, and then instead of going into our Gmail one here, Chrome Store, we download for Outlook and follow the instructions. Of course, you'll go through the process of opening the exe file, the execute file, and applying that particular uploader to Microsoft Outlook. Once it's on your Outlook, you will have two boxes up in the status bar here. You'll have the option to highlight any email and then click on the upload automatically. It's going to say upload currently selected emails to FranConnect records. And it's going to try to match up with whatever record Sherry Stanton might actually match up to in my gingerbread training domain. Notice that the first time you log in, you'll be asked your login ID, your password, and again, that company code to register the email uploader. Once that's done, this will always be up here unless you choose to take it off of your Outlook. If I highlight the email and click on the upload and Sherry Stanton is a lead, a franchisee, or a CRM lead or contact, it will automatically upload this particular email into my system. If Sherry Stanton is not one of our contacts, one of our leads, one of our franchisees, then of course you will get a failed to upload at the moment. The other button allows you to search FranConnect records and choose who you want to upload the currently selected emails. This is similar to the ability to find a particular person within the Gmail integration. So let's just say that I wanted to search for that Aaron character again. Notice that it pulls in the person, Aaron Patterson. And if we wanted to upload Sherry Stanton's email to Aaron Patterson's record, we could tap on the upload button, and that particular email would be uploaded to Aaron Patterson's record in the lead under sales. So that's the older integration tool that we have, okay? The other tool that we have that's very similar to that particular functionality and looks a lot cleaner is our upgraded beta FranConnect Sky for Microsoft Outlook. It does everything that this particular tool does, but also offers us some features and a much cleaner look within our Outlook. So let's take a look at the beta version of FranConnect Sky for Microsoft Outlook. The beta version that I have up here is located off to the right. And again, just like the Gmail integration, we have to open it up and have a secondary panel off to the right. Again, you'll need your login ID, password, and what the company code is to be able to log in. If we click on the instructions, notice that we are brought to configuring the company code to help us to show you how to configure the company code. We do not have any help as of yet on the beta version of Outlook integration that we're talking about now, because we're still working on it. It's a beta version. But it has similar functionality to the Gmail integration as well. Notice, looks very, very, very similar as to what we're looking at. And as I highlight the person, oops, FranConnect, there we go. As I highlight the person, hover over it, it's going to search to see, oh, come on, if this particular person is a contact or any of the case may be. Okay. We can also search for any of our contacts or leads, just like we did in our Gmail integration. Once we find a particular email and we want to upload it to FranConnect, notice that, of course, it's going to say, who do you want to actually upload to? Because Sherry Stanton is not part of my gingerbread domain. If Sherry Stanton or Frank Menger, in this case, were any kind of lead or contact or whatever, it would automatically link up with that person. If we wanted to add Sherry Stanton as a new lead, we could click on New and then define, do we want it to be a sales lead, a CRM contact, or a CRM lead? Same would be the option for Frank Menger. We then would just tap the upload email. It would create this new contact or lead or whatever we had specified and upload this email so that we could keep that communication available for us. Your settings give you a link to our help reference as well. And even though it's not quite the exact same thing, the functionality is very similar, so we've tried to at least give you something to kind of work with within the Help Center that will help you to kind of become familiar with the beta version of Outlook. Last but not least, we have our let me jump to that real quick. Our calendar sync tool in Outlook. This allows for your Outlook calendar to sync to FranConnect and your FranConnect calendar to sync to Outlook. In order to download that, you simply go to your options, the third one over, miscellaneous, and click on download. You'll then, of course, be given the calendar sync exe file, and just like your email uploader, you would run through the process of installing that on your device or on your computer. Your FranConnect calendar sync shows up like this. Oops. I'll open that up again as I accidentally clicked a button. And of course, the first time that you actually get into this, you will need to input your login ID, password, and your company code. And register just like you did with the uploader. Once you get into the actual device or the actual FranConnect calendar sync, you have the option to sync now, which allows you to sync all of your calendar items both ways. Or set up an auto sync to set up hourly, daily, weekly, or monthly. Your scope options allow you to control how much of your FranConnect calendar and Outlook calendar gets synced over and in what particular option. So, of course, private lists all of your Outlook entries only in your calendar at FranConnect. So it takes everything from your Outlook and pushes it over to FranConnect. The same scope means that it's going to list all of your Outlook calendar items with the same scope as in Outlook, so you get a two-way communication. And then, of course, your public allows you to list all your Outlook calendar items in everyone's calendar at FranConnect. So if you have anything going on, you will be able to control the scope based on your setting here. Any questions on the Outlook integration tools that we have talked about? Okay, not seeing any questions. I know that definitely Kelly had mentioned that one of the drawbacks of using the search and upload functions and to actually upload to various contacts right now with the beta is that you can't upload to a different record that's not specified using the new tool or the beta tool. So when you try to collect an email here, right, and you're trying to sync it to a record that it doesn't match up with, As of right now, you can't do that. You have to add Sherry Stanton as a record or Frank Menger as a record. But they are working on the ability, just like the old search and upload feature, where you can take any email and upload it to any contact, lead record, whatever the case may be. Thank you, Kelly, for that. I hadn't thought to mention it. All right. Last but not least, we're going to be talking about next we're going to be talking about our mobile apps. And in general, the mobile app that we'll be talking the most about is going to be FranConnect Sky. Notice that you can go to the App Store on your mobile device or the Google Play Store to download any of the mobile applications, whether it be the FranConnect Sky, FranConnect CRM, or FranConnect Field Apps. So I'm going to go ahead and do a quick share of my mobile device for you. Just 2 seconds to make sure we're displaying here. All right, you should have my screen here. And the first thing, of course, that you're going to need to do to make sure you have all three of the different applications is to go into your App Store. You then are going to do a quick search for the appropriate application, like FranConnect Sky, or FranConnect Field Apps, or FranConnect CRM. And then, of course, download by tapping on the Install button. Now, to save time, I went ahead and actually downloaded all three of the applications. The FranConnect Sky is in my work apps here. And the CRM and Field Apps are located here on my second page. So we're going to jump into the FranConnect Sky right now. And of course, the first time that you go into FranConnect Sky, you're going to be asked for your login credentials and your company code. So I've already accessed it. This is going to be the first screen you'll actually see, and you will need to make sure that you put your company code of Gingerbread Training or your company code that you can locate on your page, and then tap on the Continue button. If you struggle on finding the company code, we've provided a handy video here for you to locate it. You then have a little video that you can watch as to what the functionality of FranConnect Sky is, and then proceed to the login screen. You type in your login ID and your password. Notice that you have the option to use the forgot password if you have forgotten your password, just like on the main web application. Now, the first time that you log in, of course, there's quite a bit of downloading that has to occur. Because I have done this several times, you're going to see that there's no downloading for me. Your first page is going to be your home. Your home page is going to show you any of the, actually show you where we're getting this data from. But it's going to show you any of the hub stories that have been posted in the hub. Notice that on my hub, in my Gingerbread Training environment, I don't have any stories. So on my activity stream here, we don't have any stories. All right? But we have the option in the lower right-hand corner here to add a story right from our mobile device. And now notice, of course, on my activity stream, we've got our first story. And if I refresh my screen over here, I'm going to put my top story right there that I just added from my mobile device, which is very handy. Other options, of course, under your name, be able to access your other options is going to be using these three lines in the upper left-hand corner. When I tap on that, a menu pops up to the left. Starting from the top, you'll see my ugly picture and the ability to edit your profile. Of course, we were already on the home page, so if we were to open up the sales, notice that we have access to the sales dashboard, the sales lead management, with the option to make a call just by tapping the little phone in the upper right. And notice that it automatically inputs the number. We make a call. Once we end the call, FranConnect Sky says, hey, do you want to log that call with Arthur Martin? If we don't, we can say no, but if we do, we can click on yes and log the call details for Arthur Martin. We can also access any of the details for our lead by tapping on the lead and accessing any of the details. We can send an SMS message to Arthur Martin. We can email Arthur Martin or log a task against Arthur Martin. We also have access to our tasks that have been created and the ability to use the little plus at the bottom to create new tasks. We have similar functionality in Opener in that we can look at our store summaries and make a call to any of our stores. Notice that, of course, the functionality to log a call to that particular store in Opener doesn't exist because in Opener, we don't have that functionality. But we can access the record, view the documents, task checklists, equipment checklists, so on and so forth. Again, we have access to our tasks. Even with an opener. And we can search for any store using the search functionality. In the hub, we can access FranBuzz, the directory, alerts, messages, library, links, feeds, and tasks. And do pretty much everything that we can do on the main web application. You'll notice, of course, that some pages are not available, like reports and other functionality that we couldn't include without making it be too cumbersome of an application. But we tried to include as much functionality as we possibly could. Within the Information Manager, we have access to our dashboard, the in development page, franchisees, terminated locations, corporate locations, multi-unit entity locations, and our task page and a search page. And again, we can access any of our franchisees. Send messages to them, and log information as we see fit. We have access to our training module, the dashboard, plans, courses, results, and events. We have access to our support module, our finance module, and a very nice access to our consolidated calendar from all of our modules. We even have access to insights. Again, the access that you have will depend on the modules that you purchased, but the purchased modules that you have will show up on your mobile device in a limited format. Before we jump into the other two mobile applications, I want to show you a little bit about the settings. When you go into your settings, it's very important to note that just because we accepted all of the notifications when we downloaded our application does not necessarily mean that we have to be sent everything and anything that comes as a notification. We can control in the settings which notifications we want to receive as a user. So for instance, if I am not a sales guy and I don't care about any of the notifications in sales, I can turn all those off and save. Maybe I'm not using the opener at all, and I don't want to see anytime a checklist creation is done. Limiting the amount of notifications you get will allow you to really focus on just what you need to do your job. Last but not least, to log out of the mobile application Sky, you simply tap on the log out button. Notice that Touch ID, if you have on your phone, can be enabled for the FranConnect Sky application. Any questions on FranConnect Sky before I move forward into FranConnect CRM and Field Ops? Not seeing anything, so we'll jump into FranConnect Field Ops and CRM. You noticed, of course, that you didn't see Field Ops or CRM in our FranConnect Sky. We are looking to incorporate them in the future, but as of right now, they do not exist. So we do have a separate app for our FranConnect Field Ops and CRM. You log in a very similar way, making sure that you record the company code. Maybe. Again, you have the option to enable Touch ID. And the first time that you log into either Field Ops or CRM, you're going to do some downloading. Now, within Field Ops is one of those applications that requires you that can be used as out of connectivity, so that you can take your mobile device anywhere you want to go and actually still record data and then sync it up later. In order to do that, though, you'll need to download the forms before you lose connectivity. And then once you lose connectivity, which I cannot demonstrate because we're all connected via the internet right now, you'll still be able to perform all the functions that you want. Notice that we can access the dashboard, our visits, tasks, and the sync report from our Field Ops application. We can create new visits, And we can simply tap on any of our upcoming pending visits, if we had any, and jump right into any visits we had scheduled. I know that's a quick overview of the field ops, but I told you it was going to be so. Any questions on the field ops application? Last but not least, let's talk about the FCCRM application. Again, we'll need to enter in our company code first. We then are given a little bit of a preview of what the FranConnect CRM application does. Again, we're downloading data. We then log in to this FranConnect CRM. I'm going to try and get rid of some of my applications, see if this will go a little faster for us. Using our login ID and password and login. Notice that we have the option to take a look at our dashboard, jump into our CRM dashboard, and our campaigns dashboard. We also have access to our leads, our accounts, our contacts, our opportunities page, our search page, our tasks page, and even some limited reports. We have access to our CRM calendar and the option to control our settings, make sure those notifications don't get too crazy, and control our notifications within CRM to see any notifications that come through, provide feedback to our developers, and of course our logout button. Again, very quick overview of what CRM has to offer for us. But again, we said we were going to go very quick through that. Any questions on any of the mobile applications that we have available for us? All right, not seeing anything in our chat box. So I highly recommend that if you have any questions on any of the Outlook integrations, the Gmail integrations, the FIQ Messenger tool, which unfortunately I haven't had the time to go into, that you take a look in our Help Center. In fact, let me take just 2 seconds actually to go into our FIQ Messenger. It's very simple. The FIQ Messenger, of course, looks very simple once you get it downloaded. You log in, and the reason that I kind of left this for last, just to see if we had any time near the back end, is that all of these things, this is first of all a desktop application. We have the option to configure the FIQ to have us send or have pop-ups, toast pop-ups if we chose on any of these particular items in the hub. And anytime a new posting in news, new document in library, new alert, whatever the case may be, notice that, of course, we have a full help on opening the FIQ, what it's going to look like, what toast pop-ups are going to look like, and how to adjust everything within the FIQ Messenger. The instructions on FIQ Messenger are in the options under our download apps, under our miscellaneous. The reason I kind of leave it for the last is that every single one of these particular options is also included in our mobile app under notifications for the hub. So I kind of like to show that one at the end. Help Center is huge. We really hope that you take a look at it. So if you have any further questions that you just didn't want to mention in this particular training, please let us know. You'll also all be receiving a survey within probably about an hour or so about this particular training. Let us know, was this good, was it bad, what can we do to make it better? 0 means we did horrible, 10 means we did really great. You'll also be afforded the option to enter comments. We always appreciate your feedback. I want to thank you for taking your time. My name is Frank Menger. My email is frank.menger@franconnect.com. I'd love to hear from you, either now or in the future. If you have any questions, please go ahead and hang around, and I'll answer them if I can. Marshall says, I can't call from my phone. Okay, Marshall, I have you unmuted. You want to go ahead and it says it doesn't recognize. I would have to take a look and individually take a look from your phone and see why it doesn't recognize. Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, great. I am so sorry. Listen, I've actually talked to somebody about this before. I have a LG cell phone. It's an Android, and for some reason, it isn't. The first time I had the app, it was fine. It would call clients. But for some reason, with the new update that they did, I don't know what it's called, what interface or whatever it is, it changed where it no longer recognizes a call function on my phone. So I actually have to use the integrated browser app to, or the browser function to call out versus using the Sky app.
Okay. I would enter into help ticket on that because honestly, that shouldn't be the case. I've tested an iPhone. I've tested it on Android devices. LG. I've never had an LG, so I can't. I've tested it on a Samsung, and I know it works there. But I've never actually seen that to where that's a functionality. Enter in a help desk ticket and make sure that they assist you in that.
Okay. Let me give you the actual. Let me see, because I've reinstalled it. They told me they wanted me to totally redo the phone, and I can't do that. I've got too much stuff saved on here. Let me go back to it. There it is. I have done a hub tucket on it, and they're still trying to figure out what is going on with it. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, it's asking me for the code and everything. I will go ahead and do the help ticket, but thank you so much for the information.
No problem, and I'm sorry about that. It should work. I've tested it on just about every device I have in my house, and it works just fine. So sounds like you need a little bit more special technical support that I'm not able to provide for you. I apologize.
It's okay. It's all right. It happens.
All righty. Any other questions? No problem. Have a wonderful day, Marshall. Any other questions from the audience before we go ahead and duck out today? You can just unmute yourselves if you have any questions. Go ahead. I'll go ahead and give us about another minute. We're actually a minute over. Sorry about that. Probably due to the technical difficulties we had getting on. I mean me. Sorry about that. All right. Since we're about 2 minutes over and I'm not hearing or seeing any questions come up from the chat box, I'm going to go ahead and end the session. Again, my name is Frank Menger. I want to thank you all for taking the time to be with me. Remember, you will be receiving a survey as well as the recording within 24 hours of the conclusion of this class. You guys have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye now.